Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2. Welcome to DBL. It's Thursday, March 25th. I'm Jeff here with my friends Stephanie and Brandon. Feeling good?
I feel like the odd one out because normally I always have a cup of tea, and today you both have got teas and I've not got mine.
You got some tea?
No, mine's empty, actually. I just...
That makes me feel better.
People
I got my
at home
little...
are always wondering what's in your cup, right?
Yeah.
What's in your cup?
So I gave up coffee. Usually it's just water, but I gave up coffee for Lent, but I've been getting on the tea kick, Steph.
Yeah, I normally like a peppermint tea during the show, so I'm feeling very out of sorts.
Maybe after this first segment, at
I might
the
go
break,
and get myself a
we're
cup
going
of
to get you a
tea.
cup of tea.
Yeah.
All right, let's get it going. Jay Leno is apologizing for racist jokes he made in the past about Asians. So last month, Jay met with the Media Action Network for Asian Americans and apologized for decades of jokes at the expense of Asian people. In a statement, Jay said at the time he genuinely thought they were harmless, but now regrets making the jokes. He added he doesn't think his case is an example of cancel culture, but a legitimate wrong that was done on his part. Last year, Gabrielle Union revealed to Variety magazine that she overheard Jay make a racist joke about Koreans eating dog meat while he was a guest judge on America's Got Talent. So what do we think about him apologizing? I don't think this is cancel culture either, because no one's trying to cancel him.
No.
He's just being proactive and saying what I did was wrong in the past.
Accountability.
Absolutely.
And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that, because I mean, I want someone to really sit there and look us in the face and tell us they've never laughed at some sort of racist jokes against anyone,
right,
any color, any creed. So you'd be a hypocrite, you know, if we sit here and we say, oh, we need to cancel him for that. For 15 years, this group, this organization was saying how, hey, these jokes are offensive. And now that we have that shooting at the massage in Atlanta,
right, you
kind of have to come out and say something, even though that joke didn't lead that monster to go and do what he did. You know, you still say some things over or laugh at some things over the years, and now that it's prevalent, and now we're hearing, you know, Asian Americans speak out. Now you're looking back within your own heart, and you're like, you know what? I'm glad I'm not the person I used to be.
Right. You grow. You grow.
And we all need to remember as well, first of all, kudos to him for coming forward off his own back and saying, you know what, during my time on The Tonight Show, I said X, Y, and Z, and I feel not good about it. Also, he is 70 years old, and the world has changed tremendously during that period, since Jimmy took over from him, you know.
Yes.
And let's also not forget, you know, what he said obviously was not very nice, and as he said, he shouldn't have said it, and times have changed. But there also was a whole team behind him at the time that also thought that was okay for him to say and help write those jokes.
Right.
So I think it's like a community thing. It's like everyone's changing their mindset, and it's about time. But yeah, I feel really proud of him for coming forward and saying, you know, I'm really sorry. And I think there was 12 jokes over a period of like 10 years or something.
Yeah, and I mean, I think those were the times. It's not an excuse, but accountability, like you said. That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about now. People make mistakes. I've made mistakes. No one out there is perfect, right? You have to take accountability for that, apologize for that, hope you did your wrong right, and move forward.
I mean,
right?
look how often we're talking every day. I guarantee in the next like 10, 20 years, maybe one of us, or however many of us are doing what we're doing, we'll be look back and say, you know, oh gosh, we said this. Wow.
You know what's ironic though? Like, I want to move on to the next story, but it's like I have a diverse group of friends, right? And, you know, I'm half Italian, half German, but a lot of Italian jokes get thrown my way. I hang out with some Mexican people, their jokes. So when we're all in a group as buddies, we get each other.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's okay. But if other people were listening, they'd be like, I heard Jeff make this joke, or vice versa about someone else, right? So it's weird how how it's accepted in some groups, but as a norm, it's not. And maybe that's wrong too. I don't know. I don't know the right
I mean,
answer.
Nowadays, it's keep it within your circle, not on
But
your
then
social.
does that make it wrong, or does that make it right? That's where I'm kind of confused, right? So if I'm in my group of friends that I've known for 20 years and we're doing that, is it wrong? I don't know. That's where. Let me look at the book. Yep, wrong. Okay, let's move on. Chrissy Teigen is done with Twitter. Chrissy said goodbye to the social media platform yesterday. In a series of tweets, Chrissy said that she is too sensitive to deal with all the negativity she receives on the site. She said, quote, my life goal is to make people happy. When the pain I feel when I don't is too much for me. I've always been portrayed as the strong clapback girl, but I'm just not. She added, quote, my desire to be liked and fear of bleeping people off has made me somebody you don't sign up for, and a different human than I started out here as. Please know, all I ever cared about was you. This is the most relatable thing and she does a lot of relatable comments. This is the most relatable thing I've ever had with Chrissy Teigen, I think.
Oh my gosh, you know, I love or hate her, she's kind of like Marmite, isn't she? People either are like a die-hard fan and think she's awesome, or they think she's TMI and they don't like her opinion. Obviously, each to your own. But I love Chrissy Teigen, and I think she's been so beautifully honest. She shared not only the highlight reel that we see, she shared the lowest points of her life and her marriage, having miscarriages, like sharing that on social media, trying to bring awareness, creating so many happy moments as well, making me laugh all the time. Whenever I look at her, I laugh at what she says all the time. I love her, and I just feel like how sad. First of all, I think she's going through, this is just my personal opinion, but I think she's clearly going through a really bad time right now. If you look at that and how, I mean, she is very bold. She is very strong. She has been, as much as she says, I'm not a clapback girl, she has been many a time, you know, and that has come from her. But I think obviously it's got to a point where it has ground her down, and she's had so many serious things happening to her over the past 12 months. She probably is like, you know what, this is too much. I need to step back now. It's sad.
All that negativity is draining, and you can see, you can kind of see, no one wants to be that clapback person. She was kind of just thrown into it with everything that was going on at the time, from Piers Morgan to then President Trump, to even your everyday fan, even your everyday troll on there. We would go to Chrissy Teigen to see what her clapback response would be. Even on this show, how many of her tweets have we used on this show as some sort of response to something?
Of course.
You know, so but now with motherhood, transparency with that, being a great wife, and even doing the whole cookbooks, and I think her brand has it's changed and it's evolving in a way, and all that negativity is just absolutely draining.
Well, I think part of like her success is how she was open about everything, right?
Yeah.
But come with that vulnerability comes a lot of criticism and negativity, right? I had to pull myself away from social media, and I'm now Chrissy Teigen. I have a few 100,000 followers. I couldn't take it. And I was being very open with my wife and things like that. Just the conversation that we just had, Brandon. My friends are a different nationality. Could we have that conversation? Somebody out there is writing in right now saying, you do not have that conversation, period. You hypocrite, racist, or whatever it is. It's tough to look at that every day. And I know that person. I'll never meet that person. I'll never see that person. But to see that on a regular basis, you know, and I'm all about like doing things on a regular basis, whether it be working out or looking at positivity, my mind goes there. So if I start reading that stuff, it goes there.
And I'm just thinking, because we're men, imagine reading that while breastfeeding. Or nurturing a baby, or just having a miscarriage.
Yeah.
The emotions
has to get to you.
One of the last things she said was to her Twitter followers, she said, you know, don't forget that your words have meaning. And, you know, they do have so much power. And you just throwing out, you know, maybe a nasty comment or whatever trolls do or say, which is awful. You know, you wouldn't say that to your friends or your family. If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. Well, you know, it's going to ruin someone else's day.
To me, it's a mirror of how those people are feeling, right? So they're taking their insecurities out on a regular person or a celebrity of sorts. But we're going to see more. Chrissy Teigen
She's still on Instagram.
But she won't be the last. People are pulling away if they're not on there. They have no desire to, and they're going to be pulling off because nobody wants that. Nobody wants to hear that.
No.
What do I know? Coming up on DBL, we're talking to Grammy winner Maci Gray. She's dropping hints of new music and reminiscing about her on-screen debut with Hollywood royalty. I know who that is. And George Clooney gets real about having kids in his 50s. What he thinks about it next.
Closed captioning provided by
Nice. Welcome back to DBL. George Clooney is dishing on becoming a dad in his 50s. George said before he met his wife Amal, he felt his life was pretty full and never thought about having kids, but he just told Hoda Kotb on the Today Show that he was wrong. Let's watch.
There's some people that their goal was, I have to have children. Mine wasn't. I wasn't looking at life going, my life will be unfulfilled without children. I felt like I had a pretty full life. And then I met them all and realized that my life had been pretty empty. And then when you throw these two kids in there, then suddenly you realize how incredibly empty it was. And, it fills it all up. It makes it fun.
Aww.
So,
how
do you guys feel?
I agree. I'm 36 now. I've never been ready to have children because I wanted to establish my life. And it's not only through football, professional football, but the entertainment industry. It's shaky. You're in one city, you're in the next city. But now that I'm older, there's nothing I want more than kids. I see how my older brother is with my nieces and nephews, and that's goals. To me, that's relationship goals. So hopefully I can get started soon, but I'm going to be one of those dudes where hopefully on Daily Blast Live's 30th, 50th season, they're like, Brandon London pops out number 7.
Is that how many you want?
Hey.
Listen,
My dad had 7. My dad had 7.
I wanted 4. Like, you're a kid. You're like, how many kids do you want? I have 2. I think I'm good.
2's enough.
I think I'm good.
Two and a lap dog. Two kids and a lap dog.
And then the dog comes later after they could take care of the dog. No dog right now. How about you, Steph?
I'm all right with my cat for now.
Really?
Yeah.
Any desire or just it's not?
I think a mixture. I mean, I've always been really transparent. I've had loads of health issues my whole life, so who knows what that means for me. It's never been something that I've ever focused on because of that. So I feel like, I'm super happy. I'm blessed with the most beautiful family, the most gorgeous, little nephew called Theodore. He's beautiful. And I always thought maybe one day I'd maybe adopt a kid, maybe.
Question, but what if you were dating an older man in his 50s and he's like, hey, I think I'm ready to have another one?
Well, I think, if that was a situation, it depends. I think if the right person for me would accept my situation, and they wouldn't, obviously, if I wouldn't be the right person for them if they were saying, we're desperate to do that, or he's desperate to do that. So I think, each as it comes. I've always been super breezy. And if I was with someone and they were really keen on having a child, then maybe I would pursue it if it felt right and if it was something that I wanted to do. I'm a very selfish person. I'm not gonna lie.
Wow. No, you're not.
I am. I mean, I think I love everyone. I give all I have to give to my friends and my family, of course. But being in television as well, that was kind of my commitment as a woman. I'm committed to that. I mean, we've only got 1 out of 4 women on our show that's got a child. I think there's reasons for that. It takes a lot to get to this point.
Absolutely. Interesting. Very honest. I like it. Coming up on DBL, from new music to a new movie all about fear, Maci Gray is telling Lindsay what she's been up to lately. Chatting with the stars is next.
If one doesn't get you, the other might. The symptoms from seasonal allergies can mimic a mild case of COVID-19. Now researchers say there may be a link between high pollen counts and illness rates from COVID. Let's connect the dots. A study involving scientists from all over the world looked at pollen monitoring sites in 31 countries, finding that as pollen counts increased, COVID-19 cases also increased. Pollen can aggravate our immune system even if we're not allergic. Dr. Louis Ziska of Columbia University was involved in the study and tells us cells that line your nose, throat, and lungs become less effective at blocking out viruses when exposed to pollen and increase your risk for respiratory illness. Other scientists say while the data is interesting, it doesn't prove pollen counts are responsible for higher COVID rates. Health professionals say there are many factors that influence infection rates. They do agree that wearing a mask will help protect you from pollen and COVID.
You want to feel old like me? It's been more than 20 years since Maci Gray's iconic song, I Try, and there's no slowing her down. That's amazing. Earlier, Lindsay got the scoop on Maci's latest projects and her new movie all about phobias in today's Chatting with the Stars.
Maci Gray, welcome to Daily Blast Live.
Hello there.
Now, although you're a Grammy Award-winning artist, Hollywood has embraced you as an actor. But before we get to your latest film, I have to ask you, it's been more than 2 years since you released your last album, Ruby. So when can we expect new music?
You must have read my mind because we actually released our first single from the new album. It's called Thinking of You.
Oh, let them worry, let them figure it out. But I'm drinking.
It's on Spotify, all platforms, and we formed. I've been traveling with my touring band for the past 5 years, same guys, and so we made it official this year, and we made a band. So it's called Maci Gray and the California Jet Club.
Yes, I love it. Now, a lot of people don't know, but your film debut was in the Denzel Washington blockbuster Training Day, and that was 20 years ago. So what do you remember most about that experience?
I remember as soon as I got there, I just wanted, because the only reason I did that movie, because I was not an actress, you know, and I thought he was crazy, Antoine Fuqua, for asking me to do that movie. And I was like, you know, whatever, dude. And then he said, you know, by the way, Denzel Washington is in it. And then that's when I was like, oh my God, you know. And that's when I signed up for the movie because I wanted to get a picture with him for my mom. That was really my entire inspiration for doing that movie. I had no interest in acting. And then I got to the set and I realized, you know, oh my God, I don't know what to do. So I asked Denzel, I went to his trailer and I asked him, like, you know, and he said, you know, just do yourself as your character, you know, which is basically what he is a master at.
Now, your latest project is a horror film where people are confronted by their worst fears called phobias. So what makes this like no other horror film?
The Foundation's calculations are off.
The surveyor reported...
I'm not talking about boundary lines.
Our crew
I'm not talking about boundary lines.
Our crew measured multiple times.
It's different because it's like these 5 kind of individual stories of people who have these fears. My fear is called a telephobia, which I had never heard of. It's fear of imperfection. It's fear of not doing everything right, which I didn't know was a fear. But so I played this crazy, like psychotic, violent, murderous, you know, cruel, lonely lady. And but when I read the script, I totally got to her. Like I could totally relate to her. Everybody thinks I'm crazy for saying that, but when I read it, I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna kill this, you know?
So Maci, when's the last time you faced your fears in real life?
Off the top of my head, I only really have 2, and they're bugs. I'm like, I'd rather hang out with a tiger with, you know, huge teeth than like a little bug. Bugs just freak me out.
Same.
And then and then heights. For some reason, when I'm going up, I get. Do you get like that tingling when you're going up, or is that just me?
Well, I'm with you on the bugs, but the heights thing, I love heights. Like I've jumped off of them bungee jumping, all this stuff. But the bugs, I'm with you. Well, Maci Gray, thank you so much for joining us. DBL Nation, check out Maci Gray in Phobias on demand or in limited theaters. We'll be right back.
And don't forget to listen to Thinking of You on all the platforms. Thank you, everybody.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
The situation we're describing is called a breakthrough case. It's when somebody gets sick despite being vaccinated against an illness. So our question is, have there been any reports of people getting COVID-19 after being vaccinated? Our sources are the CDC and infectious disease doctor David Priest.
The expectation can't be with any vaccine that there's not a single case that arises.
And we do see that in the numbers. While more formal research is underway to track breakthrough cases, the CDC does have a database where clinicians can report them, and we checked it. Right now, there are 25 reports of people in North Carolina who got a COVID shot and later got the virus. But after looking at each report in detail, we found only 3 who were considered fully vaccinated when they tested positive. So why might these 3 cases have happened?
There's a unique interaction between the vaccine and the individual's immune system and how well they respond to it, how well do they make antibodies, how well do their T cells respond.
Priest says even with breakthrough cases, the vaccine could still be working by making symptoms milder and, more importantly, cutting down on chances of hospitalization and death. By the way, the 3 cases we found were 79 years or older, and 2 of them had underlying conditions. While all 3 did go to the hospital, the reports say none of them died. So we can verify, yes, there have been cases of people getting COVID-19 after being vaccinated, but these are very rare instances. In fact, we found 3 cases out of more than 1.5 million completed vaccine series in North Carolina. With your Verify, I'm Vanessa Rufus.
Welcome back to DBL. It is time for some sweet, sweet deals. Earlier, I showed Tori some amazing products at even better prices. Here's this week's DBL Deal Blast presented by MorningSave.com.
What do you have for us today, Steph?
First of all, we've got something that's going to create beautiful hairstyles. It is the Sultra Vixen Volumizing Ionic Dryer Brush.
Ooh.
So it gives your hair smooth, frizz-free volume with this dryer brush. Normally, this is as much as $149, but now it's only $25. saving up to 83%. Next up, it is this Willing Now S 6-piece knife block set. So this block set comes with a paring knife, a chef's knife, bread knife, kitchen shears, and sharpener. Nice. So normally this set is $282. But we've got it for $99, saving up to 65%. Okay, Tori, you're out on the town and then it starts pouring down with rain and you get caught out. Well, we've got the answer because this is the 2-pack reverse umbrella compact umbrella. And it comes in a 2-pack set and you can choose your color scheme. So we've got brown snake skin, navy gingham, pink floral, or purple marble. So you can see some of those here. Normally it's as much as $40, but we've got, are you ready? 2 for $20. Lastly, we've got the toiletry face and body sonic cleansing set, and it comes with a replacement set too. So you can get wonderfully cleaner, softer, radiant looking skin with this set. It polishes away dull skin and gently exfoliates away impurities that traditional cleansing just leaves behind. Normally it's as much as $65, but now it's only $29, saving up to 55%.
Head on over to morningsave.com to snag these amazing deals at the lowest prices. You can even visit morningsave.com on your smartphone. It's so easy. Thank you so much, Stephanie.
Whoa, whoa, Miss Mary Poppins, you're gonna open the umbrella indoors and forget your tea? You going home to your black cat after this?
I know. Oh, I like that. That's a bit witchy. It's like...
Oh, you're good. If
Not
Steve's
that
on that
again.
button, could you do it to the camera before we go? Steve, are you on that button?
He's falling asleep.
Yeah, Steve got it. What a crew we got over here. DBL's new every day. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
I was like, he's like...
Thank you.